J'invite à parler, je remercie pour être venu à Milan, Nayla Mecattaf du CroMe Studio, si je prononce bien, et Philippe Chiambaretta de PCA Stream. Ils vont parler en anglais, mais je pense qu'ils résonnent en français. Merci pour... thank you for your presentation. I'm sorry I had to cut it. E vorrei anche chiamare Paolo Alberti di Arteglia, perché Arteglia, in entrambi i casi, dans les deux cas de les bâtiments que vous avez conçus, Arteglia a eu un rôle de pilotage du projet, je crois. Je pense que la dame va parler avant le monsieur. Ladies first. Merci. Ladies first. Merci.
OK.
Dans votre cas, il s'agit de Trinity Tower. Dans les deux cas, nous sommes à la Défense et à part Montparnasse, except for the Tower Montparnasse, where a number of Parisians have thought it should be demolished, to the pleasure of our friend who was here. It has not been demolished yet, but the Parisians have been clever enough to think that all the other skyscrapers should be concentrated in La Défense and no longer in the historical center of Paris.
Absolutely. Okay. Grazie. Buongiorno a tutti. Scusate se parlo in inglese, il mio italiano è troppo povero, non posso parlare così veloce come voi tutti qua. So I switch to English. If I can, that's the wrong one. Or shall we start with?
No. PCA stream is...
This is because this is mine.
This is Philippe.
We should have the other. Sorry, you can start.
Okay, so let me quickly just introduce myself. So my name is Nayla Mecattaf. I'm the founder of CroMe Studio, which is the international branch or the international arm of Co & Co Architecture. Our team is based in Paris. We are a small team, about 30 architects with a sort of international and multicultural team. Shall I just start? We do, in our office, the different kind, of course, of projects. So we have at the moment many refurbishment projects, and we have also become sort of experts in tall building because of this tower Trinity that I will show today. We are working today, by the way, on another big project that could be maybe one of the last ones of new tall buildings in La Défense, because from now on in Paris, with the regulation, it will be impossible to do tall buildings. So the trend today, especially in France, as I was saying, would be to, first of all, to renew building rather than build new ones, and to develop low buildings rather than tall ones. Because high-rises frequently evoke dehumanization, uncomfortable relationship with the surroundings, and people think they are not sustainable. We have heard a little bit other opinions this morning for the ones who were here at the presentation. We think that we should be a bit less dogmatic. Every situation is a bit different. We have to look at each situation a bit differently. So I think now I have my presentation, so I go quickly through that studio presentation. Okay, so I want to tell you more about how to make a building desirable, because this is what makes it probably also sustainable. The vertical urban form of a high-rise enables us sometimes to densify the city as an answer to a population which is growing in general, still while avoiding the urban sprawl, which is bad, and the artificialization of the land. And if we start counting the transport into the carbon rating and the liberation of the unsealed land in favor of the cooling islands, then the high-rise still is an alternative to the densification of the cities. But of course, this architectural model can only be sustainable if it's desirable. It has to contribute to the personal fulfillment of the users and of the surrounding neighborhood. So it requires, of course, common sense, a smart environmental design, but above all, a holistic approach and a dialogue with the public realm. So I want to show you here first how we had, for Trinity, invented the site. What you see here, this triangular structure, probably most of you know it, it's called the CNIT. It's actually the biggest concrete structure, which spans over 180 meters, with this triangle, and some towers. And what you see here in between, there's a highway. It's a 7-lane way. So could you imagine here where we're going to build between the CNIT and Arriva? So look at this rectangle. That's actually the site we were looking at with the client, who's a private investor, Unibail-Rodamco Westfield. And the idea came, why not using this area, this street, or this highway, to build above? Because it's anyway a space which is already sealed and it's not used for anything else. So now I'm going to show you what happened. We have on both sides, we have this highway. We have two neighborhoods that have different levels. You can see it here, 4-meter difference of level between these areas, and very difficult to cross. So what we have done is that we have pushed together 2 slabs, one from each side, to bring together the 2 neighborhoods, and it became like the first slab of a construction to come above. So this is here, you can see the tower finished. You see that it is standing on this highway. It has 4 bearing walls that are along the streets. They are between the lanes of cars. And that was built, by the way, without stopping the traffic, never. So how we came
Why
down...
is it called Trinity?
That was a commercial name, I can't tell you. Yeah.
Trinity, it's very Catholic.
I don't think it comes from there. Maybe because there are 3 volumes at the end.
The Holy Ghost.
The Holy Ghost. So I want to show you how we came to this shape. Now that we have this triangle, of course, we were not able to build just a long building like that. So we looked at the neighborhood, and then we had actually we wanted to keep some views for the existing buildings from all sides. So we had to chop, let's say, the building, the shape, so that we could keep the views for all the neighbors. So at the end, we came out with a sort of floor plate that would be 1,500 square meters, so that it naturally became a tower. I mean, it had to be high because the floor plate was small, and it had to be still sustainable also from an economical point of view. So now you can see here how it was shaped. There is the core, which we call actually the heart of life, because it contains all the circulation and all the life of the building, and the volumes 1 and 3 contain then the offices. You can see how it stands actually on the highway. So I show you again here quickly before and after, just to see when we were going to build it, and then we were telling people, this is where we're going to build Trinity. Nobody could understand, where is this site? It doesn't exist. Now that it's built, it looks like it's always been there, and nobody remembers how it was before. So the first thing what we did then actually with these floor plates was that we reconnected the neighborhoods. So this is about sewing the city together, no? La cucitura urbana, si dice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can say that.
So we sewed together these 2 areas that were completely disconnected. So you see here, this is the tower with the public space, and this is the public space itself. So these represent 3,500 square meters of public space that was built by the private owner, or the private developer in this case, and that were given back to the city. So it had to be a negotiation between the private investor, and both cities, because on each side of the street it's a different commune, no? And above that, the highway is national. So there was lots of discussion between the public and the private, and that was built and done and given back with these 50 trees, with actually these public stairs, public lifts that connect then to the street below and to the bus connection.
It comes in as a facilitator.
Absolutely.
Of the dialogue between different
so the
municipalities and the state.
Exactly. So the fact that it was doing good, well for the neighborhood, we had the planning permission granted without any contest also from the neighbors, because it was helping them. So here you can see actually all these green areas that are also accompanied by cafe and public amenities. As I was telling you, now that it's standing there, it looks like it's always been there, and it's connecting actually, for example, this garden was a dead end before. Nobody knew it existed. Now people walk there, people actually sit there, they go to the cafe, it's become a complete public place. So the way it touches ground is also very transparent, so that people are also invited to get in. So now, Trinity is then a new office tall building, right? We have to imagine how can we design actually an office tower for tomorrow. We have to take into account what people want to have in a workplace. The new generation is very demanding today. It's a generation which is concerned about the well-being at work. And after COVID especially, it became obvious that people only wanted to come back to their workplace if they could find the same comfort as home, but at the same time, they wanted to find the social links which they had lost when they were home. So to create the desire to come back to office and to work and to La Défense, we have to reconnect people with their environment. So we have to reconnect them with the nature and then to reconnect them together. Reconnecting with the nature means that we've seen that we had all this vegetation at street level, at ground level, don't call it street. We also have created outdoor areas at all the floors. So from everywhere in the tower, you can go out, whether on a terrace or on a loggia or on a balcony. You have 1,500 square meters of planted terraces where also people can meet and where you can connect to outside.
And have a social life.
That's exactly the social links. What you can also do is that you have windows. I mean, from each working place, you can open a window. Even though it's a tower, you have operable windows. You can see here we developed this system, which is a pantographic system. You pull the window, it opens just 11 centimeters so that you don't have to protect it from falling down. Of course, it's not enough to have the natural ventilation with it, but you can hear the noise of the city and you can feel the outside breeze, so you are connected again to your natural environment. Then it's about reconnecting people together, and this is what Professor Norsa was saying. It's about creating these social links. It starts in the entrance lobby where people can meet, where people can sit. There is this furniture also that is done so that people can stay there. You can meet at the landing of the elevators. You have convenience stairs where people also can just meet by chains. This is all what we call the serendipity, the way that you just meet people where you're not supposed to meet, serendipity. You have these meeting spots also where you like small kitchenette or informal meeting rooms, and people are using them a lot, very friendly community spaces. Again, the terraces. What we also did is that you want people to enjoy the view, because this is about living high or living in the height. You want to benefit from the view. So when you come out of the elevators that are already glazed, you can see outside. So what you see here is la Grande Arche de la Défense. So you see outside, you know where you are because you see, and you can orientate yourself, and then you can go to your working place.
La Grande Arche was designed by a Dutch, or Danish, no?
What's his name? Danish. Spreckelsen, no? Spreckelsen.
Yes.
Exactly. You share the view from these community spaces, from the offices, and we have also designed a business center at the top floor. Usually you put the conference room in the basement. We decided together, not of course with the client, to put them at the top. So at 27th floor, you have this multifunctional room that benefits from the view and from a very generous terrace. It is rent every day. It is, because it's a multi-tenant building, these facilities that are at the top can be used by any of the tower tenants or users, and it is booked almost every day. We put also the wellness center at the top of the tower, so people can enjoy, again, doing sports and wellness while they are at the top of the tower.
Thank you. The human scale,
Can I? Okay, I'll be very fast, but I need a few minutes to continue just a little bit. I wanted to talk about the human scale because this is important. We have, because the tower looks for lots of people unhuman and very big, we started to divide in smaller sequences like villages. So each floor plates are grouped together and can share a big terrace, suspended meeting rooms, balconies, and so together you have something like 6,000 square meters. So this is more or less the size of any buildings in the center of Paris. So people can feel they are together in a group. So I'll show you quickly how they are. And then this is about the plans. I can show it quickly, but I need a few minutes to talk about sustainability because if not, I cannot finish. Don't have a few minutes? I have to stop.
and here they're starting the evening.
Okay, so it's too bad because I wanted to show you how we did some filters in the facade. But what I want to tell you at the end, I don't want to say too much about numbers because, of course, the building is very good in terms of sustainability. I could tell you that we had actually all the labels. I could tell you also that we looked at everything, and then you have to take into account, when you talk about sustainability, to take into account what you do with transport, because the transport was here, and actually we have 90% of the people who come with public transportation. The rest come with bicycles. So we don't have any parking, and then we are saving lots of carbon. We are using local materials, of course. We are doing lots of things, but at the end, what happens is that we've compared the building, this tower, with a low building completely made in timber somewhere in the suburbs of Paris. And if you calculate the transport that you don't do because you're not going outside, and if you calculate what you save in terms of space at ground that you're not building, we are saving 26% of carbon comparing to a timber building outside the city. We are also saving 50% of energy when we compare to the stock of the building around because it is good. So at the end, in this case, the tower is quite sustainable. And the best, maybe the best thing what we can say is that a good building is a building which is well used, intensely used. So it has to be full. So we have to create these desirable places so that people are happy. And the building is today fully rent, even though it has the highest rent of La Défense. It is fully rent after 2 years, and this is probably the best proof that people are happy in it. So I can tell you that by putting the human in the center of our thoughts and of the design, we have got to a high environmental and human quality of the building.
Thank you. Now it's the turn, Monsieur Philippe Chiambaretta. A PCA stream is the name of the firm, and the link is the name of your building. After the Trinity, the link.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
I will speak in English also. And I think a part of what you said in the end is working for us as well, because we're also going to speak about a tower in Paris, in La Défense. And the question of building near concentration of public transport, making a high-rise building sustainable is one also of our key statements that compared to a low-rise building, which what we have done in Paris for many years. Paris has a trauma with towers because of Tour Montparnasse. So what we learn in renovating old building inside Paris and the desirability for office space for the new generation, especially after the COVID, is that there are very opposite desire to what a tower, high-rise office tower is today. So when we start the competition in 2015 for this project in La Défense, we were trying to solve an equation which was to say, how can we be horizontal in a tall building? What we have learned in doing many headquarters inside Paris is that large floor plate is one of the requirements for serendipity. Serendipity, as you mentioned, is the fact that you create synergy and meeting between people. And in low-rise building, you can easily get 3,000 square meters of floor plate. In La Défense, which is a neighborhood where you have mostly office towers since the 1950s, the average size of a tower is 1,500 or 1,800 square meters at the most. So it's small. And so we try to solve the idea of having this large floor plate in a tower. The Défense is going now through some kind of a crisis because they have old buildings that are not desirable anymore. And they're not sustainable because they were designed back in the 50s, 70s, or 80s. This was the existing site with this low-rise building, maybe only 30,000 square meters. It was like a castle with this, like a castle creating a barrier from the natural floor of the city surrounding. And so one of the questions was to say how you can design a tall building, but also connecting La Défense, which is 12 meters higher than the floor, to the ground floor. So connecting the city to the neighborhood of La Dalle, La Défense, and also using the large floor size of the floor of the site to build 2 towers, because that was the solution we found to create this horizontal in a vertical concept. We came to this proposal of having actually 2 twin towers connected to each other, each floor plate being therefore 3,000 square meters, with a garden between the 2 towers. And then we could find some agreement with the firemen to connect the floor 2 by 2, so we had duplex of therefore 6,000 square meters each, which was then quite a huge floor plate compared to a traditional office building in La Défense, as I said before, around 1,800 square meters. There, this connection that gave the name to the building, the link, the size of a building that is generating link between people. As you see in the middle of this 2 floor plate, you have this connecting element, which is like a salon, no office, but an open space with a terrace and a staircase, a very open staircase that you can use every day. So this will reduce considerably the use of the elevators and giving this external space to every level. It's something similar to what you have done in Trinity. So this is a section of between the two levels that you have a garden, double height garden, and this is our duplex that we have 35 of them. That's a competition view of the link with a view on Paris. And this kind of staircase that you usually don't have in the tower because they enclosed, the staircase is enclosed. This one is open, so it's really easy to take, easy to use, and it's a walkable tower, let's say. So we hope, it's not completed yet, but we aiming to have a strong diminution of the use of elevators. That's another. On the higher tower, we have we have a winter garden. And so it's composed in 3 different sections. What we try to do is to have restaurants and several amenities that are spread all over the tower. So it's not only on the bottom of the tower, but also in the sky lobby that we have on the 35th floor. So it's lively in different part of the tower. I go quickly. Then we have developed 2 types of skin, considering the sun and the way the heating on the facade. We have two typology of facade. One is a double skin with this type of form that is also including solar panel. So we have 6,500 square meters of solar panel on the part that are, of course, facing sun. And another typology, which is single skin. So really, it's following the sun. The typology is following the direction of the tower. This is a view from the ground floors on the right side, seen from the city of Puteaux, which is the natural floor, and on the left side on the Parvis of la Défense. So it's and the bottom of the tower with a 3 floor is connecting these 2 levels of the city, with also a public stairs next to it. That's a perspective of the building as it will be finished next year.
La grande arche in the middle.
In the middle. So so that's going to be the tallest. Not for, I mean, we're not looking for competition or for a record, but it happens to be with 240 meter height, the tallest building in La Défense, and incidentally of France also, because that's the only place where we have tower in Paris and in La Défense. And of course we work also on all the interiors. These are images because it's not finished, but we have a lot of amenities to make it be. Also we have a sports facility at higher level, etc. I mean, and this, we went through the construction that was for 1 year. It was all underground because it was, of course, a very deep foundation. And now we are reaching the 47th floor. You see here the image before, and on the right side, the construction as it is today. This building is also fully rented, but it's only one company who is going to rent it. It's the French oil company Total Energy was decided to rent this building and gather 2 towers they have in La Défense today in only one new building. And that's going to be maybe an interesting phenomenon of renovating the neighborhood, because this new project with the new generation design in 2015, of course, maybe if it was today, 10 years later, maybe we would have a different approach. Maybe we wouldn't build a new tower. That's possible. But in the fact that it's freeing 2 old ones, it's maybe opening a cycle of complete renovation of this neighborhood, which is going under a lot of stress in terms of occupancy of old tower. We should be finished and completed by the end of 2025.
This is the timetable.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Just una parola anche all'ingegner Paolo Alberti.
Sì.
Arteglia ha avuto un ruolo.
Sì, praticamente insomma, abbiamo lavorato a fianco a questi due grandi architetti su questi due progetti importanti della Défense. Peraltro abbiamo lavorato su praticamente tutti gli edifici della Défense. Noi siamo una società di casamate francese, quindi li giochiamo in casa. Ma dunque io volevo solo ringraziare il professore per avermi dato l'opportunità diciamo di salutarvi. Artelia si occupa di project management, direzione dei lavori, progettazione ingegneristica. Normalmente accompagniamo gli architetti dietro le quinte. Oggi il professore mi ha onorato della presenza sul palco, quindi sono particolarmente contento e congratulazioni a tutti per i bei lavori che abbiamo visto.
No, diciamo queste